I don't know what to say. I really don't know what to say. Because hey, killer. But yes, this is an open floor, so any questions of any kind are encouraged to be asked regarding your code, or even if you want card stock thrown at you, just say so. But still, I do want to say this though, right off the bat. If you're working with the left and the path, you can't be making careless mistakes, such as making so many commitments and not following up on them, and especially if it involves you giving your whole being to the side. Because if you choose to do that regardless, and if it's part of like an agreement, the thing with pact though, you can't stop it. So that's why you have to really take your time with them. Because there's now somebody who thinks that they can just break it and be off of it like that. And no, that's not how it works. I hate to tell you that. Because point blank, since that pact wasn't fulfilled and now it's broken, this individual's in hot water and there's no way to stop it. There isn't. I hate to say that, but you don't mess around with the left. Science. If you don't do shenanigans like this by playing them, deceiving them, breaking a vow, which is also the pact, or going against the agreement and refusing to do it, and if you're blaming them for them taking swings at you because you're not holding up your end of the bargain that was agreed upon, whose fault is that? And it doesn't matter how old you were. It doesn't matter what was in the pact. It's expected to be done. And if it's not done, you get hit, whacked, until it gets finished. That's just the harsh reality of it. But no, they're not. The left is not intentionally baneful and malefic. They're not. If you're stupid, that's when they'll be like, "Oh, you think you fancy, huh?" It's not a game with them. And it's not that hard. It's not that hard to have honor and dignity and a sense of character and being mindful and considerate. It's not that hard. I mean, the amount of time I've invested on the left too, that's never happened. Then again, I haven't made like more than 3 packs. That's the max I've made. And funny enough, 2 of those packs, I actually have a tattoo to pay back both of those entities regarding the pack. It's on my lower back. And the other one, it's fulfilled. Yes. Yeah, killer. Pick a number between 1 and 4. Because I have my decks in mind. That I'm gonna use. I'm gonna go with that one. And we'll go with, let's see, we'll go with, come here. With that one, we'll go with this one, that one, and one more option. I like me having some variety. Not in the vulgar way, no. We'll go with, oh wait. Okay. 4? Okay. So we will be going with the Mythic Tarot. Hey, Kelly! Kelly! Okay, so you're just wanting one card to see potentially what divines or if there's any deities around here. Okay. And so you know this is the Mythic Tarot. I think it's called the Mythic. It's pretty much the one that's like based off of Greek mythology. So, oops, kind of hones in on who our potentials can be. So let's have a look at it. Yeah, it's not a problem. And after once I pull your card, I'm going to give you a good tip to actually figure out okay who is working, like who. Actually, a way you can actually find out who actually is more willing and actually desiring to work alongside you regarding deity. Okay, so now. Okay, so now let's see what comes up. We have the moon. Ooh, and this is Hecate. Wow. And if you notice, well, other than like in the depiction, the moon, even though it's based on the Rider-Waite-Smith, you actually have Hecate, the triple goddess aspect. So in this regard, well, number one, Hecate is an option. Another one is any goddess divine that has a triple aspect, such as Hera. Hera's another triple aspect, believe it or not. And she's actually the bride, wife, widow. And Mother Maiden Crone has another one. What else is there? I mean, there's other ideas such as like in. I'm gonna try and remember this off the top of my head. Like in Egyptian mythology, I believe it's Bast, Hathor, and then Sekhmet. I believe that's how that triple aspect flows. I think I could be wrong, but I don't know why I thought in my head. But yes, yeah, this is from the Mythic Tarot. So most definitely, I would have to say, oh no. Definitely, it's gonna be a mother, like a goddess that has a mother to her. Because Cancer is the sign of the Divine Mother, and there's a crab at the bottom. And I don't know why, but I'm just being like a little nudge to actually tell the mythological story of how the sign of Cancer, well, one of the ways the sign of Cancer actually was put up there in the sky. So, many thousands of moons ago. Yes, after telling her about this. So, sign of Cancer, one of the stories was actually believed that many thousands of moons ago, during one of the festivals for Hera, the humans of the earth invited her to come down to the festival and actually be a part of the not really shenanigans, but take part in the celebration. She got the invitation and she was delighted to be invited, and then she decided, okay, yeah, I'm gonna go. So she sits on her throne and just taps her armrest, and then just the whole throne just goes and it breaks through clouds, and she starts descending kind of like as fast as like a meteor going down to earth. Unsuspectingly, this crab by the riverbank is just there, doing his own business. Then out of nowhere, the throne lands directly on it, and out from underneath the throne, there's this little crab claw just hanging out, like from underneath. Kind of like how the Wizard of Oz, when the witch, got squished by the house and her feet are out from underneath. Yeah, imagine that, except it's just one crab claw in our. Hera just stands up, dusts herself off, fixes her hair. She turns to the right and sees the crab claw out from underneath the throne. She goes, "Oh, poor thing. Oh, I'm so sorry. You know what? I'm gonna give you I'm gonna give you my sincerest apologies by making sure that you get remembered, so that way this tragedy won't ever happen again to anybody like you. So she takes the corpse of the crab and just throws it up to up to space, making the sign of cancer. But that's one of the lesser known ways of how cancer got up there, but still nonetheless. And also, since there's also a dog figure, I'm also suggesting maybe hmm. And since there's also a canine figure, consider also maybe working along entities that are very detached from the um they're kind of detached from the worldly pursuits, and they're more focused on internal, because in Vedic astrology K2 represents dogs. But primarily I'm getting, well, Hecate is probably the number one that's saying yoo-hoo. She's probably the first one that comes to mind. Or any other goddess that has a triple aspect. That's my best say. And, or even heck, since it's also the moon, and there's a moon up there, technically it can be really any goddess figure, because the moon is a feminine planet. Unless if you're going with Japanese mythology where it's reversed. Sun is Amaterasu, and moon is Tsunogi. I think that's how you say his name. So then, they're reversed. So any moon-related deity, like just for an example, Selene. Next counts Chang'e from Chinese mythology, Aradia, Diana. You get the idea. Any moon-related deity or even a goddess figure like Isis, not Iset, Isis. Hate Smite for that, but still. Any moon-related divine you can consider maybe could be related to that, but number one says Hecate, in my opinion. And the little bit of a kind of a minor hack way of figuring out, okay, so who in the heck is wanting to work alongside me? Pretty much, to keep it simple, I'm gonna write it out because I'm gonna get like off on a tangent explaining it, but still. Essentially, you would say something to this effect. Let me write it. And depending on the time frame you want to do, I'd say 24 hours maximum, but if you want to do it for at least 2 days, you can. Let me just write this out. Okay. You would say something very similar to this. Within the next 24 to 48 hours, that's the next day or another day after that, I ask the divine figure whom favors me the most to reveal himself slash herself to me in a way that I see and understand perfectly. That way, when they make themselves known, you'll know. That's why when you make your intentions like this, and when you speak them out loud, you actually make it to a point where they understand, like, okay, so in essence, this is pretty much asking them, please reveal yourself in a way that's idiot proof. That's kind of putting it in a humorous way, but still. Making it in a way that, oh, hi, Ethan. making it in a way that literally there's no way you can be like, I don't know if that was it. But this way, it's pretty much just saying, okay, I know who that is. I cannot say I don't know who that is because I asked for it this way. And this way, it actually helps. Instead of you going out and trying to figure out who it is, it actually does it backwards. The one that you're really seeking out comes towards you instead of you going on a divine scavenger hunt. That's a simplistic way of doing it. And I suggest probably only doing one at a time. But then again, you would change from the divine that favors you most, and change it to like I ask of another divine whom favors me to step forward in the same awareness. That way I can understand it and not question it. It'll make it so much easier than just taking guesses, because that's one of the most difficult things that people sometimes struggle with. They're like, I have no idea which one to go to, and I don't know if I should go towards this one because he might spear me. She might slap me, but still, metaphorically. This way, it actually takes it in reverse, so that way there's no guessing. You don't have to worry about accidentally mistreading someone. Yeah, we don't want you to be intimidated by this though. Okay, now next. Okay, you hear me. Okay, what was the question again? Alright, see if Lilith is the only deity trying to get my attention. Okay, so again, number 1 to 4. And we'll see. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yep, it does. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with having your intuition be double checked. Besides, that kind of is actually a good thing, because now once you are testing your intuition, and if you're getting results correct, that actually gives you confidence to be like, okay, intuition, I can trust you. And I know you're not BS. I'm saying from experience. Because my intuition has been scarily on point. Hello, it's the Kraken. Poseidon. Yeah, your tentacle monster's out again. No, not the one below your waist. Yeah, your tentacle monster's out again. Oh well. You know what? Since you keep neglecting him, I'll take the Kraken then. So Jeremy, number between 1 and 4. Simple. Oh. Well, somebody put Poseidon to sleep. Primarily, even when you're trying to figure out who your divine or spiritual God. Okay, 4. Up essentially. Well, I'm gonna change it up a bit. So we're gonna go with Grandbox. And I swear to God, if this card pops up again, I'm gonna table flip. I swear. Because the last time this happened, 3 in a row, I almost like threw this deck out the window. Don't do it again. Okay. Okay, so we're... So it's easy milkshake. So essentially we're going with C... What was it again? Just to double check, make sure I read that right. Is there's any other deities besides lovely Lilith? The only disadvantages of having small hands and a... God, that sounds so bad. The only disadvantages of having small hands and a big deck is that you can't really riffle shuffle with it. Yeah, because that's big. That's like, it's like legit as it's almost, wow. That's a honker. But all jokes aside. So anyway, what other divine beings do we have alongside Lilith? Here. Bigger's better. Stop it, don't you say it. Screw it, we're all ladies here. Hey, I was just taught, with 10. So I can't help that. Stop it. Vulgar. As Cleveland would say it. Oh, that's nasty. Oh, now you're just being crazy. Hey, Peter. Hey, why are you being crazy? That's nasty. Well, Kraken, I hate to say this, but once you get past a certain threshold, you kind of expect it. We're all ladies here, so. Actually, funny enough, the Grand Lux is actually, I think, Marcellus too. So let's see what came up. Oh, it's Chris Farley. Well, I call the devil Chris Farley because he's all about live life, live it hard. So, what can we come up with regarding the devil? Hello, Lisa. So, let's see here. Chris Farley, okay. I call him that because, the devil is about enjoying yourself, enjoying the 3D world, enjoying your senses. But no, and okay, enough. So anyway. Well, I see this. Essentially, because the devil figure does have, well, in this depiction, it does have a man and woman figure and then a divinity above them. So there's two below and then divinity above. So two come together to form the betterment of the self. So a relationship of two betters the self. So we can reason this. Number 1, Pan, potentially. Number 2, Shani, or Saturn, because Saturn is realistic, practical. The devil figure is also realistic and practical. And even though some people, it has potential. Yes, she does. There's Black Moon Lilith, Dark Moon Lilith, and then Asteroid Lilith. The one that I was talking about was Black Moon Lilith, and it's symbolized by a crescent moon, and then it's being attached by a plus sign underneath it, and it's black. As well, Satanus is another one. I would probably not say, I wouldn't say, at least with this depiction, I would not say it'd be Lucifer, but potentially that's another option. Another one? Funny enough. Okay, we'll go with it. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with this. Oy vah. I'm gonna try and pronounce his name. Behemoth? Or Behemoth? I think it's Behemoth. Well, because Behemoth, according to... I can't remember how to pronounce that, but there was a source saying that Behemoth was all about organizing the events of parties and indulgences of wine and celebrations. But what's the devil? Live life, live it hard, and enjoy it. But know when enough's enough. Because if you don't have the self-control, your enjoyment can possess you and blind you and make you do something that you're gonna regret. But even a divine... Well, but still. Another thing too. Hecate does have a Saturnian energy towards her because she is of dark. If that makes sense. And the devil figure sometimes can be intimidating. And sometimes the dark is intimidating. And usually when you're going towards Hecate, sometimes when you make her mad, she will just she'll cryptically put dread in your head. that makes sense. And I have to say this because I'm just looking at the woman and man figure. I mean, I'm sorry, I have to point this out. If you look at the woman figure and how she's looking at the man figure's going like this. Then the woman figure's like right here, and then there's the man. If you look at her, she's just like, oh, wow, dude. Really? That's how big you are? Wow. Even my pinky's bigger than that. Really? Oh, now you really ain't getting my help. I'm putting my hands behind the back. But that's so mean. Hey, don't look at me. You were born with it. Yeah, well, I mean, that's one of the ways I just sometimes love how... Okay. But seriously, I mean, I I just can't help whenever I see a man and woman figure in a card, I just take a look and be like, oh, is Lilith in there? Well, in a way, yep, you have her just be like, oh god, really, dude? But you hurt my feelings. Screw your feelings, kid. Hey, it's okay. Sometimes, you don't get the luck of the draw, and stop trying to think you can point that at me. I'm not impressed. And now even the devil figure's like, sucker. Sucks to be him. He can't even handle himself. And look, his hands are free, and she's not even giving him her hands. He can take care of himself, but oh well. Oh, woe is Adam. What feelings? Oh, well. But, as well, you can even also consider, say, like, an entity that teaches using magical tools or like learning how to craft, because the devil figure is actually holding on to the 4 elements. That's another potential. And what's more hysterical, the woman figure... Mm-hmm. Yeah. Because she knows, like, what the real intention is. If there's something alternative, I mean, she'll just tell you. You know, it's so adorable to make you think that I'm so naive and gullible, but that's gonna make you end up like Adam. Yeah, that's not good. But I mean, hey, it could be worse. You could be like that that fanboy that I blueballed. You could be like him, still aware and having your balls blued. Would you rather have that or be like Adam? So yeah, don't think I'm naive. I'm not new here, kid. God, I just love when she pops in like that. But essentially, or even here's another one. Any entity related to Capricorn. So pretty much one that is about order, structure, discipline. Kronos could be another one. Even also Vishnu. You're probably thinking, how is Vishnu related to this? In the sign of Capricorn, there's a deacon or nakshatra called Sadavan, which is owned by, look at that. And Sadavan is ruled by Vishnu. So there you go, that's another potential. Another one is Rahu, the bee-headed Pac-Man. And Rahu just likes to go nom 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 non-stop. But Rahu also owns the next deacon in line, which is Daneshta. No, wait, that's well, that one's Mars. So you can technically also say Mars in some way, because Mars is, the most driven to, claim and really get in the face. As well, I said Saturn, I said Shani. You could consider possibly an entity that actually caretakes to like the dead and isn't like of the underworld, of like those who have passed away, because Capricorn is a sign of work, and serving. So that's another one. Even also another entity that does reality checks like Shunny. You're stupid! Damn brat! That's another one. And, well, I kind of wouldn't say like an entity that would troll you. And I wouldn't say like an entity. Okay, now this one, well, I mean, there's so many. Because originally this is supposed to be like in this deck, it's supposed to be the Fool, except, he's kind of a little bit older, but that's just how the card is depicted. But you have like Satanas himself. I'm not really feeling really Lucifer for this one. Saturn, and that's actually related to the Capricorn sign. Hello, Isabel. Hey, it's okay. You're here now, so that's all that matters. Funny enough, Lilith is in this depiction. You see the woman figure? You see how she's looking at him? Like, oh wow, dude. That's that's not impressive, hon. You think that's gonna get you anywhere? Even your own finger is longer than that. Come on, dude. Oh my god, that's just so bad, but still. And that's actually how she... That's kind of in a way how she would respond if, somebody was getting pushy with her. Like, oh, you think you're hot stuff, huh? Well, you're not really proving it, because you're not really pointing it at me besides, really. I know, I'm kind of... It's funny how, like, I'm kind of really pushing against me. So, but either way, based on the house placement, Lilith is most likely going to be working, like, more likely to work with you being in the 4th. Either way, so that's... So... God, is there any time when you don't yell like this, dude? Because he's getting kind of out of hand. Is there anybody else that want to have card stock thrown to them? If so, number between 1 and 4. Let me double check. Hold on. There. Now you won't hear that. And it's so embarrassing. Hello again, Dexter. Hey, where's my solo cup? Well, having being on the autistic spectrum, having loud noises kind of gets me in a position where it's like being a little bit, I can't handle it. Yeah, I know. Except if I wasn't mute, he'd probably think, holy crap, he is a sass monster. I may come off as very sweet and gentle, but, if the wrong thing comes and just rubs me the wrong way, I turn to a banshee. But nonetheless, so still. Okay. And what's even odd too, it's sometimes it's not really hard to be like considerate. Sometimes like that. Because don't get me wrong, I completely understand when somebody needs to have it quiet. Yeah, that's not a problem. But when you ask to have silence, they don't listen. and then you table flip on them and be all like, "Hello, truth," and you just tell them, "Hey, I need some quiet time, okay?" When you do that and ask them, and then they decide, "Oh yeah, we'll be quiet." No. And then when you table flip on them, they're all like, "Why are you being like this?" Well, because you didn't listen. And my voice cracked. Mm-hmm. It's just it gets me to the point, just like being like, oh, I don't know, like usually when I no, for me, I don't argue with them. I don't argue. I don't argue with them. I don't. But nonetheless, I forgot I muted myself. So, any questions at all, Truth Addict? Just hit me. Well, don't literally hit me in the face. Well, for me personally, the Akashic records and recalling past life. For me personally, I don't really focus on that. Well, except the only way that I look at it is just with astrology placements of K2. Where he's placed, that's like the past life regression, where you're taking from the last game, like from the last completion of the life. Because primarily, K2 is the planet that's all about past life regression, and where you've mastered last life and you're bringing it into this life. So think of it as something you're carrying over in like in a new game plus, if that makes sense. And like pretty much, if you know Final Fantasy X-2 when you beat the first game through, and you can come back around again, and it's just like, oh, I have all the dress spheres, and I can one-shot people, cause why not? Moogle, kind of like that. K2's kind of like that, except it's just one thing. That's what you use to look. Oh, no, Jeremy, no, 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 no. Don't, no, don't think she's offended by that. Okay. What I think about Mars and Lilith in the seventh house of Cancer. Gotch has that placement. So Mars in. So now, and the next question to even really read that placement: where's your moon placed? Because Lilith relies on the moon to exist, so she inherits some of that quality too. So wherever moon's placed, that will have some say into it too. So so that means you're a Capricorn ascendant then, right? Capricorn rising? I believe so. Yeah, it should be. Then again, if you're using equal houses. But just oh, hopefully, in the chat, well, not the chat box, in the K2, like the planet K2, not K2 the stone, because I thought that too at once. But K2, Ketu, is the headless body. Here, let me help you, Kraken. Let me help you. Okay, where's my clicker? Hey, brownies, mouse, please. Give me that, you little nasties. Okay, so let me show you what. Sorry about that. But anyway, so this is what. Head. Don't you ever stop? Okay, so now. Okay, so. Okay. Right here. This is the. Meh. Hold on. I'm grabbing it. There we go. This. Hey, Mindy. This is the symbol for Black Moon Lilith. And that's her astrology symbol. Does that help, Kraken? And primarily, this is the most common Lilith that's used. And this is the one I read. Because I have the most familiarity with it. Okay, I'm gonna try and catch everybody. Okay, wait. Okay. Okay, so truth, I still just need to know where your Lilith is. I know not your Lilith. Where your moon's placed, because wherever moon's placed is going to be influencing Lilith's position. Is the seventh house useful for learning astrology? Well, if you're going to be doing astrology to actually do regarding like relationships, synastry, and connecting to people and advising people, yes, I would say you should have a seventh house that's supportive and has a lot of strength to it. Because if you cannot connect to people, Ten of Cups is emotional fulfillment. If your seventh house is strong, you're not going to be able to have the negotiations and pretty much make like a partnership with somebody. And usually when you're providing a service, you have to have that partnership. And astrology, if you're giving guidance and advice, and if you're counseling to people, you kind of need that. And I mean, wait a minute. Okay. So I'm just waiting on that. Just trying to get all of these questions out. Okay. Grieving, fiance the other day. Okay. Opinion on the seven race. What do you mean by the seven race? I had to clarify that one. I get confused because I use Vedic and tropical, but in Vedic it's moon in Mula in the 11th. Okay. So moon in Leo in a sign of Ketu. Okay. In one of Ketu's nakshatras. So essentially, anyway. So listen. Anyway, as I was saying, I would, but the thing is that I have to play it loud. Nonetheless. So anyway, so I'm not really sure about what the seventh ways are, but so K2 is Ketu. Ketu. Um, hmm. Besides, how are you doing, by the way, Mindy? Because I know you were talking about that incident, and I'm trying to like do multiple things at once. My brain's all like all over the place. So yeah, my brain's just all like so. So having Mars, Lilith in Cancer, and Moon is in Mula, which is in Sagittarius. So let's see what we got here. Essentially, we have this. First off, Lilith does not like Mars. Because Mars thinks he's head honcho, and Lilith is responding in a way that's all, oh, you think you're tough, huh? Oh, it's okay, but you're easy to manipulate because, you get into hissy fits. So whenever Lilith is conjunct any planet besides Venus, Moon, Saturn, she actually gets a hold of them, and she actually makes them do what she wants. They push her agenda, which is essentially self-empowerment, pretty much captivating others and making sure that her needs are met first, and is where somebody's empowerment lies in. So now in the seventh house, Lilith, Lilith does not like the seventh house because now she has to rely on somebody else to be empowered. However, though, in Cancer, essentially you have this. One is able to be very excelled in nurturing other people in a way by defending them or using their way of like pretty much caretaking to somebody else in a way that is very protective, but it also for some reason captivates them and it allures them, and one sense of empowerment comes in by nurturing and protecting other people, but also at the same time manipulating people in a way that actually is kind of like doing what has to be done regardless if your feelings get hurt, because Lilith is the unknown and Mars is a sass monster and energy. So one's way of pretty much where their energy goes is essentially going towards defending domestic violence survivors too, and that's also pretty much working with and negotiating with those who have suffered from domestic violence, because seventh house is other people. Cancer is the sign of the divine mother and nurturer. Then you put Mars in there, which he, even though he gets very pissed off in Cancer, he actually becomes extremely he becomes a really agitated mother hen, like a really sassy, not having a mother hen. And Lilith, on top of that, it makes this Spartan man from 300 with a cookie sheet and a rolling pin and a chef's head and a pink apron. She kind of tells him, "Oh, you're so cute in that. Why don't you try, let's see how hard you can really hit with that piece of wood." So she kind of tantalizes him. That makes him put out even more energy. So essentially, with other people, you can actually see that you're really put a lot of your energy in supporting and protecting and nurturing people, if that makes sense. And as well, somehow, some way, the way that you caretake to people somehow intoxicates them, and not in the way that gets them drunk, but in the way that kind of woozy woos them. The best put it. It's not a bad thing. It's just it is what it is. But also, one of the things that can happen too, if somebody just rubs you the wrong way, just the wrong way, you have potential to pretty much take their heart and their emotions. You can essentially just take something as simple as this and got it, and not feel remorse. Is like, well, hey, don't look at me. You're the idiot that tried to, think you were slick and cute and thinking that swinging at me was good. So there goes your feels. Because Lilith is also where you can see how someone gets revenge. And being in Cancer with an agitated Mars, somebody's way of attack goes right for the emotions. So vengeance gets carried out by destroying the heart. Not literally like, stabbing someone in the heart, but like somebody's deep love emotions gets overkilled. Because Mars can't control himself because he's wearing an apron with a cookie sheet in one hand and a rolling pin in the other with a chef's hat. And he has surrounding him housewives hand in hand skipping, singing, "Hey brother, pour the wine," or something like that. And they're just skipping around him, and he's being forced to not lose his cool. And he's just, there's a lot of agitation with that Mars. And I have that Mars in Cancer. So I know. But when when the anger comes out, it comes out and it hits like a truck. It's essentially like pretty much the best way to put it, like say if you're playing an RPG, like a role-playing game, like Final Fantasy or something like that. Essentially, you're at max level, and now you're going to the very first level. A level, like something that has like a level 2, and you're like level 999. Essentially, you just go up and you just completely one-shot the thing, and breaking the damage limit on this poor thing that only had 10 HP, and you just did 9,999 damage to it. That's like Mars in Cancer. It's just overkill. So, when it comes to other people, you can also even just stop. Dude, just stop. God. But nonetheless, hey Kayla. Since Sagittarius and Moolah's there, it's also kind of going 99 Kraken. It's also even going to the extent of actually like really swinging out of their heart, but their roots. Because Moolah likes to go pluck things out of the root and just deroot it. Deroot it? I don't think that's even a word. But essentially, not only you swing at the heart, you kind of swing at their past and you kind of tear it apart. Yeah. But again, primarily the Mars is being just poked at. And there's nothing he can do because Lilith, he can't do anything to her. And Lilith, even though she's not really fond of being in the sign of, in the house, the 7th house, because she has to rely on other people to be empowered. But nonetheless, she's able to actually manipulate people and also control Mars to do the more aggressive, pushy stuff. To do all the dirty work, if that makes sense. But usually this is done because since it's also in Sagittarius and Moolah, there's actually more of a moralistic side and a more higher purpose of doing this and trying to eradicate any kind of malefic influence because of a past root problem. So that way you know. That was quite the tongue twister, and that was a long way of answering that question. So that's my best say about that. I can't handle this.